Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading Super Science by thatchickendude. Chapter 56, A Second Chance. Are you sure about this? Izuku worriedly asked his mentor as he watched him pack up for his meeting at Tartarus. Egon turns to him, nods affirmatively, and states, "Of course I am. He may be the last living family I have left. I would rather take the chance than live my life regretting I never had. Besides, the worst he can say is no." He sighs as he locks down the briefcase and says in worry, "I'm just worried about Cho." "What about me?" the woman asks as he stepped into the office. Egon walks up to the woman, puts a sympathetic expression, and asks her, "Are you sure you're okay with asking him to work for us? The whole reason this will work is because he's so smitten with you. He'll be after and all over you every day." Cho rolls her eyes and waves him off, while assuring him calmly, "It's fine. Like you said, we need some bodyguards around here, and the robots can only do so much. Plus, I worked in the armed forces before. He's no different from the loads of other guys I've worked with. That doesn't make it any better. Nor does it help me feel right about it." Egon stresses his worries. "Think of it this way. He likes me, so I can have him do whatever I want." She tries to assure him again, giving him a placid smile. Egon gives her an expression of dismay as she shoots back, "Cho, emotional manipulation isn't morally better than harassment, sexual or otherwise." Later at Tartarus. It took Egon about an hour to drive to the high-security facility, and another hour just to get through every last security checkpoint, just to have this meeting with the only two people he would even want to come to this hellhole for. Once in the meeting room itself, Egon had to wait for an extra half hour just for his first visitor to show up. Kendo Rapper, an ex-Yakuza member, an ex-member of the 8 Bullets, and the only survivor of the Yakuza invasion on Nip. Once the huge man sat down and was restrained, Egon couldn't even get the first word in as he exclaimed, "Yes!" "You didn't even let me finish," Egon told him. "You want to hire me as a muscle for your Labradors, right?" Rapper guessed. "Laboratory, and yes," Egon corrected and confirmed. "Then I agree," Rapper insisted. Egon raised an eyebrow, then deadpans. "It's for Cho, isn't it? So that's her name, Cho." Rapper purrs like a cat as he stares off into space. Egon snaps his fingers a few times to get his attention from La La Land and informs him, "Well, in addition to being our bodyguard, I would also like you to be our test monkey." "Test monkey?" Rapper questions. "Basically, we're going to make things, and you have to break them, if you can at all," Egon explains. "I get to fight things on top of that?" Rapper excitedly shouts. "Pretty much," Egon confirmed calmly. Rapper then slams his hands on the table and yells, "Sign me the fuck up!" The following person he met also took another half hour before he could even see him. During this time, Egon grew increasingly anxious about it, since it may be life-changing for at least one of them. The officer standing beside him, the one who usually on call to deal with anything regarding Nip, could see the man's anxiety rise with every finger tap. So he tapped his shoulder and asked, "Are you sure you want to do this? He's a death row inmate." Egon took a soothing breath and assured him, "I have to take the chance, Momo. He may be a criminal, but he's still my brother. If he rejects it, then I have no choice but to let the law do its thing." He then smiled at the man and said, "By the way, thanks for finding him." Momo smiles back and nods his head as he eats. The door unlocked. He says, "I wish you luck in that regard." When the doors open, 4 muscular bodyguards all come in, holding what looks to be catchpoles as they walk in a large man in a straitjacket, alongside the standard restraints and quirk dampening collar. Once he sat down and fully restrained in the chair across from Egon, he finally got a better look at the man. He wore a straitjacket and the typical prison garb orange jumpsuit. He was tall, but not as tall as him, and yet so much broader and more muscular, making Egon a bit jealous. His hair was short, spiky, and coloured blonde, and a near constant scowl adorned his face. One of his eyes was black, and the other was a fake with a large scar that ran alongside part of his cheek and forehead. Egon cleared his throat, noticed himself staring, and started, "You must be Goto Imasuji." "And who the fuck are you?" He sneered back in a snarl. Egon gulped and centered himself as he started off by saying, "This is going to sound really stupid, and I'm sure you want to kick me in the crotch for even suggesting it." "I want to do that already," Goto told him flatly. Egon sighed and just boldly told him, "You see, the thing is, I'm your brother." Goto's eyes went wide with a mix of surprise and disbelief as he mouthed back, "What?" "I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. We have the same mother, unfortunately," Egon explains, while putting his chin on his propped hand. "So you met Mum?" Goto inquired. "Like I said, unfortunately." Egon rolled his eyes. "Where's she at?" "Jail." "Jail?" "She stalked me and my protege to our facility, walked in, demanded money for some bogus reason." Egon began to explain it to him. "That sounds like her," Goto agreed. "Then attacked me and my protege." Egon explains further, with anger bubbling up. "Also sounds like her," Goto agreeing once again while rolling his good eye. "Then I knocked her out with a decorative pillar," Egon finished proudly. Goto's eyes went wide at that part, and he exclaimed with excitement, "I wish I had been there to see that." "I won't lie, it felt really fucking good," Egon admitted while tightening his fist with a huge smile on his face. "I bet," Goto agreed, leading the 2 brothers to have a good laugh. Once they ended their merriment, Goto got severe again and stated in a deadly tone, "But what do you want? And what do you do? And what did you mean by facility?" Egon blinked at him dumbly for a moment before it clicked, and he asked, "Oh, have I not introduced myself?" Goto disapprovingly shook his head. Egon punched himself while saying, "Sorry, I'm Professor Egon Cristallo, part owner and operator of Neo Icon Phoenix Research Facility." Now it was Goto's turn to look at him dumbly, and Egon inquired, "You haven't heard of me, have you?" Goto just shook his head. "You must not get the news or TV here in Tartarus, do you?" Egon asked, and Goto gave him an expression as if saying to his question was dumb and obvious. So after sighing in self-disappointment, Egon informs him, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I and my protege are kind of a big deal. So that's why Mum came to look for you, Goto said to himself after putting the pieces together. Sitting up straight, he told his brother, I wondered why the old fart demanded where she was some months ago. Guess now I know. Egon gave him a questioning look and asked back, Old fart? Oh, you mean your dad? That meathead our mother left my dad for? Goto grunted and rolled his eyes as he spat with venom. Yeah, that's him. Don't worry, he's on the far side of Japan, so he shouldn't worry you. Plus, he's an alcoholic, so I won't be surprised if he drank himself to death. Thanks for the assurement, I think, Egon said in confusion and worry. But really, what do you want with me? Don't you know who I am and what I've done? Getting increasingly more threatening with every word. This made the guards tense up, while Egon just sat there calmly. Egon sighs at his reaction and tells him, I know everything. On the streets, you're known as the villain Muscular. You're a thief, hide muscle, and killer. You've done so much I could be here for the next hour just summarizing it. Then why are you here? Because any way you see it, we're the only family we have left. Egon tells him, his voice sad and longing. What about your dad? Goto pointed out. He died with my mum, stepmom, last year, Egon explains. And? Goto prompted him. Egon sighed, exasperated at his constant questioning, but it made sense due to his history, so he explained as nicely as he could. And I want you to help me, and not in an it's my job or for the good of society at large kind of way. I want to help you because I want to. You're bluffing, Goethe stated, not sounding as sure as before. If I were, I wouldn't be here. I'd let you continue to rot in this hell, Egon points out. Goto glances down at the table and asks, Why? Because I understand you. No, you don't. Goto growls at him, shooting the stink eye. Egon props his head on his hands, and then verbally dissects Goto. No one's given you a chance, have they? You've always been put down, told you weren't worth something, or couldn't achieve what you wanted. So you finally broke and became all the things they whispered behind your back just within earshot. Goto visibly cringes at this. I do know what it's like to be you. I do. But unlike you, I had parents who always assured me those things weren't true, while yours did the opposite. Egon guessed, and seeing his expression and body language, knew he hit the nail on the head. I know you may not want to accept my help, because it seems like I'm just lying to you or using you, but I'd never forgive myself if I didn't at least try to extend an olive branch. Egon offers to the man, but Goto turns his head away and in a low tone tells him, Leave me alone. Egon signs dejectedly and takes a card from his pocket, placing it on the table. In case you change your mind, here's my card. Call it and I'll bail you out, he tells him. I have a life sentence, Goethe murmured. And I have connections and money, Egon told him, without trying to sound as though he was bragging. But even so, Goto didn't see his eyes and seemed to retreat into his straitjacket. Just think about it, okay? Ototo-kan, Egon pleaded as he left the table and then the room, leaving Goto to be hauled back to his cell with a card in Officer Momo's hand. Hey fishies, how are you? Woo. This is a new chapter. By now, this should be technically released after I release the full compilation of when the night falls, mobs rise, and Long Night in the Valley. So those two should be released. That means, did you like it? Please tell me if you liked it. Please. Anyway, Muscular. I don't like what the author did with Muscular because it's like Muscular feels like a deranged serial killer that has no purpose anything but other than killing and was not really fleshed out in the story, and I think that makes him a weak character overall. I like that he's trying to redeem it, but I don't want to really see him because he is like a maniacal killer. At least with Rapper, you see that there's development and he was forced and he just wants there for the fight. He actually isn't looking to harm someone, he's just looking to improve himself or face new challenges in a physical way, which slightly makes him hot-headed, but he doesn't really make him inherently evil. Muscular just kills because he kills. He's like Moonfish, because Moonfish is just objectively just evil. He's a serial killer cannibal. He's mentally gone. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!